Wow. Hello and welcome everyone to the Victory Road 4 exhibition stream. I am Burnside, joined by Taito Vortex. Taito, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Burnside. Thanks for asking. Pretty hyped about this. We've been waiting maybe about a week or so to finally put this out here, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited too. This is the culmination of so much hard work and all these different people from the community coming together to sort of create a test stream to create hype and excitement around an upcoming tournament this fall that is called Victory Road 4. So this stream will feature 5 matches from players around the world in little rivalries. We're hoping that we'll be able to highlight sort of the incredible, unique aspects of different players in Pokken.
Yeah, and we've got a pretty good lineup of players here as well from everywhere. Some of these matches too, people who haven't actually fought in bracket, people that I've never seen personally fighting either. So I'm super excited. We've got people from Canada, we've got people from the UK, the US, we've got people from Germany, so many amazing players from so many cool regions. This is going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, so on screen right now, you should all be able to see the order of matches that are playing out. I jumped the gun really quickly. I just want to say, if you haven't heard of Victory Road yet, we're going to talk about all these matches, but definitely check out smash.gg/VR4. It'll give you all the information on what Victory Road is, how the pot bonus grows, when the tournament's happening, when the streams are happening. But right now, these are the 5 matches that we're getting into. So maybe, Taito, we could talk a little bit about each one briefly before we get into them. So this first one, I know you're excited for.
Oh yeah, I was actually gushing about this one before we started recording. But Kira versus Wise. And obviously Wise is from my region. Incredible Sceptile, and dare I say, best Sceptile in North America. You can fight me on that. I am fully convinced that he's the best Sceptile in North America. And then you've got Kira, just this incredible Libre player from France. And actually, I'm not sure if any of you were watching. Hopefully a lot of you were. But for the Players' Cup, Kira actually did make, it was top 8, right?
Yeah, she was a finalist. Yeah.
She was,
and,
yeah.
Yeah. Ended up getting 5th at that tournament. So an incredible showing for her. Just really, I think the last 3-4 tournaments she's been at, she just keeps getting better and better and better. And this is like her greatest placing ever. So coming off a huge win for her. And we were talking about how this matchup is so cool because Wise has Pikachu Libre matchup because he trains with Slice. And then Kira has Sceptile matchup because she trains with Gintrax in Europe. So like they're both going to know the matchup really well, but against different players probably.
Yeah, so the playstyles are definitely going to be different. But yeah, like you were saying, Wise knows the Libre matchup really, really well because he and Slice are sparring partners. And then Kira and Gintrax play all the time. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these 2 phenomenal players adapt to each other as opposed to how they would play people from their own regions or people that they're more used to playing. So I'm really excited for this. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this matchup. I think we should get into it, get some powerful Pokken rolling down the road, and see who's going to take our first exhibition match. All these matches today, too, are going to be best of 5 matches. So players going to have to win 3 out of 5 to take the victory in the exhibition stream, and I guess be one of the 5 players who are Victory Road exhibition stream winner circle players? I don't know. What's the pseudo champions?
Pseudo champion. I like that.
Great. I like it too. Let's roll with that. So Kira is running the Latios, and she runs Whimsical, and she has it off the bat. And then Wise on the Emolga.
Yeah, so Kira did run, and we've got a phase shift already, but Kira did run Latios during the Players' Cup as well, and she did really well with that support. So it'll be interesting to see how she utilizes it during this match. And Wise gets a really good grab. That looks like it's an unblockable. It's not, because the seeds go away when he grabs, and we've got another phase shift. Holy man, I'm struggling to keep up with all this.
Yeah, Wise playing really dynamic back and forth Pokken, sort of just like jumping in and out, sort of in Kira's face and then backing out, trying to keep her off her footing.
Yeah, Kira tries to jump that Emolga, didn't quite catch it. But yeah, Wise is playing, he's playing a lot of really good neutral, and it looks like Kira's trying to catch up, and then we've got Wise with a good detect here. Oh, he's trying to set up a thermodynamic. Oh, didn't go for it though. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Setting up the seeds a little bit here, trying to just pepper the field with projectiles. Nice patient field phase now from Wise, slowing down here now that he's not set up. Throws out a CA. Kira's spacing well. Oh, caught by a Leaf Blade.
Oh, got that classic CADC grab. Does wind up getting it lots of good damage off that grab because she is in rage as well.
Now this is her time. Picks the Latios call. Wise in a burst though. Burst right out of it. 10 seconds left on the clock. Wise calling the Emolga, catches Kira pushing a button, and Wise takes round one.
What a smart move from Wise to use his burst to get out of Latios rather than taking all that pressure.
Yeah, super good timing, just like waiting for it, closing out the round. Kira, though, keeping the pressure on, right back into it, already enhanced, catches Wise jumping, goes into an Electro Web. This is going to shift since she's enhanced, and has herself another nice lead in round two.
It doesn't look like she's going to go for the, and Wise catches that CADC, really nice reaction from him. It's almost like he's trying to keep her out, but then he moves back in again when he wants to exhibit some pressure here. Kira going for the burst, using Latios in duel. I wonder how Wise is going to react to this. Gets caught by the Latios.
Ouch, and Kira able to pick it back up, finds an Electro Web. This is going to be a lot of damage. It's absolutely going to be enough. So yep. Kira tying it up 1-1. That Latios call in dual phase was really interesting. It seems like I talked to Kira. I was sort of like, Kira, when do you call Latios? Do you prefer field or duel? And she sort of said, no, I just follow my instincts, and paying off in that case. Off to a good start here in field. Winning this field phase would be huge for Kira because she can even out the burst, and she does. Stealing Wises off a break.
He does crush that grab, though. He's going to go in for a big damage combo. Oh, messes it up, though. Oh, it drops the combo.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate.
Got some footsies going on. Nice jump over the CA. Going to go in for a combo of her own here. Gets the Just Break and the Electro Web. And shifts back into field.
Picking up the defense buffs off the wall bounces, working her way in. Both players are playing this sort of like really patient neutral with a huge burst of aggression like that. Yeah, that spark was so good.
Oh, is this gonna void? Nope. Still gets caught by the Emolga, but it does not autocorrect. Wise doesn't wind up getting a combo off of that.
Nice duck there.
Oh my gosh, the hitbox on that, crazy. Still catches the jump with the Electro Web. Good chunk of damage there.
Keeps her pressure going too with the spark into a discharge. Now into burst, keeping the momentum going. 15 seconds on the clock. Wise has to make something happen here. Goes into burst of his own.
All right, sets up a little bit of chip. We've got the Latios back up and catches him with the burst. Good reaction.
Yeah, amazing game number one from Kira here. This is definitely going to close things out.
Absolutely.
Seeing the power of the Latios purge and cage in a lot of ways. The Luster Purge, we mentioned it before, but the Latios is just so good, and Kira's among the best in the world at using it. I've not jokingly called this the summer of Latios multiple times, and I'm glad that it's going to continue in Victory Road just because I love seeing the Latios.
Oh yeah, well I wholeheartedly agree with you. Seeing all these people picking up Latios, coming up with good pressure sets with it. It's phenomenal seeing this support that was kind of underrated coming into the limelight in 2020. And such a funny time to have that happen too, because everything's online. There hasn't been any offline execution of it, so it's just cool to see it utilized like this.
Totally. At first, I thought you were going to say it's funny now because we're all like caged in, just like Latios is caging people in.
That would have been a better thing to say.
Following the trend though, but now Wise winning that first field phase, but Kira getting another lucky whimsical call, I believe. So starting with the Latios again, it's a 20-second charge, so it's not a huge benefit, but it gives her the flexibility. Not coming into play here. Both players sort of feeling each other out, but Kira finding a nice opening off that 8Y.
Yeah, it is so hard to jump anything of Libre's just because she's got such a phenomenal anti-air.
Yeah, covering with it, exactly. The anti-airs, her discharges, the electro web. There's so many things that just keep you grounded. But it's so scary to say grounded. Wise, though, great read on that throw break. Starting to get a feel for maybe Kira's mix-up game. I like this Emolga combo.
Yeah, that was fancy. All right, he's got some projectiles on the field. Oh, Kira gets caught. All right, so she got a speed debuff still, going into burst. Is she gonna call the Latios though? Oh, nope. Catches him. Good damage combo here. She's in rage, so yeah, good chunk of damage there.
Yeah, one of the ways that Kira likes to use Latios is as a way to keep momentum during a phase shift. So coming to play here, oh, that's a nice bait. She doesn't catch Wise though, great patience.
Wise being so patient, just gets a grab in neutral, incredible.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. And ready for the throw break again. Nice. So Wise coming out on top. Really good stuff from Wise there. The timeout, both of them just sort of playing chicken with each other. Kira knew she only needed one more read, and Wise knew it too, but they just waited. That was great patience.
Yeah. Watching these two spar is so neat. Does get caught by the Detecto, and then Kira's got a defense down, so she's got to watch it as well. Doesn't want to get hit by any of Sceptile's options here.
I wonder if on the shift, Wise intentionally didn't do the just frame so that he would shift and push Kira back in field phase. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
But has the Emolga combo. Oh, drops again. Maybe a weird spacing. I think he expected it to wall splat. Both players with burst here, so we'll see who goes to it first. 40 seconds left on the clock, so lots of time to work with, and Wise in a strong position.
Just threatening her with the trap in front of him, too. Inciting fear to the highest degree.
Yeah, when Wise is set up, he's playing neutral really well, and I think when he's not set up, he's a little bit nervous about trying to find an opening because Kira's pressure is so good.
The damage on that combo because of attack buff and rage, incredible.
Kira now into burst.
Gonna hang on to shield there.
Yeah, a little bit of chip, not a ton. Calls the Latios. She has to. Oh, catches Wise.
Casually walks out of the Latios, no fear. Gets caught by the Electro Web. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a really hard read from Wise, going for the Leaf Storm there and not really paying off. But great stuff to Kira, just catching with the Electro Web, the sort of patient option again. Kira's like burst of aggression mixed with patience is really interesting.
Wise goes, yeah, I'll take that trade. Wild charge. Oh, Libre. And there's
Slow
the Kira
Libre.
signature.
Has the pressure, so she's plus after the counterattack. Wise ready for the throw break again. As long as he can call these Electro Webs out, he's going to be in a good spot here.
Man,
pushing Kira to the corner.
Read too.
Yeah, definitely. Wise's throw breaks have just been phenomenal. It's like figuring out the offense piece of the puzzle because his defense is great.
Yeah. He's playing so patiently too. Dragon Breath still catches at that height.
Okay, now Wise into burst. Oh! I like that setup with the Razor Leaf, but then exhausting getting rid of the Razor Leaf, so sort of lost his setup in meter res there.
Wise's reaction with Emolga is so good too. The amount of times he's caught Kira.
Oh, that spacing right around the 5x, and then the counterattack still hit. And yeah, his spacing or his use of Emolga has been really smart so far. It's clearly like a practice support for him in this matchup.
Absolutely. I'm noticing he's putting on quite a bit of pressure by just CAing as well. Gets caught by Latios though. He's still in the pillars though. There we go, he dashes out. What's he gonna do? 6 seconds left on the clock. Gets a grab.
Wow, so Kira taking game number 2. That was insane. I know 3 CAs in a row into a grab.
I know. This is the kind of optimal CA play that you won't get unless you're watching Kira. We saw this during Players Cup as well, and sometimes you don't even really know what to do. Like, are they going to go for another CA? Are they going to mix up? Are they going to anti-air? It can be scary pressure even though it's so simple.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Some players just understand the mental mind games of like using CA in neutral or using CA multiple times in a row. So she came back against Niet doing CA 3 times in a row during the regionals of the Players Cup and going to it here. Kira just seems to have really good instincts for how armor puts fear into her opponents in Pokken in general.
Absolutely. Wise trying to go for a jump, does get caught by the anti-air. Just playing some footsies here.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, super brave Spark, getting punished for it. Now Kira on the aggression again, winning the field phase and just not slowing down at all. Calls out the detect, Chip just beating out the detect with the fully charged CA. Has Wise on the wall in the corner. This is looking like trouble for Wise here.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just saying that she's got some good CA pressure game, and that's exactly what messed him up in that last duel phase. Still gets caught by the Emolga though, and Wise can set up some traps here.
Yeah, that was a nice punish attempt, just a little bit mistimed and getting... Oh my gosh! That wild charge! Just on reaction.
Charge.
Wow.
Sometimes you just gotta go for it.
It's true. Goes into the Latios again, been getting so much mileage off it, and she continues it. Getting another... So she goes up on a set point here.
Yeah, Wise was definitely expecting that grab, but it never came.
Yeah, Kira seems to have completely dominated the mind games on like in neutral and offensive situations. We're seeing that continued. Wise has to find his footing here, otherwise it's going to be really tough. Nice Emolga call from Wise, able to continue off of it, pushing her back to the corner. The real decision is here, does he shift? No, he chooses to reset, keeping her in dual phase.
Yeah, it's so hard to catch Libre out of the air too because of all the... Oh, goes for a wild charge, does get quick grab though. But Libre can stay in the air for so long because its dash is kind of like a backwards jump, and it's double enhanced as well.
Yeah, and Kira keeping the pressure on, like you were saying, there's so much air mobility that can possibly come to play. Mix-ups, but Wise ready for that one. Catches with the Leaf Storm, that was sick. Great read from Wise.
Definitely a Wise signature right there that we just witnessed. He's so good at predicting jumps. That is something that Wise has always excelled at.
Yeah.
Okay, Kira in the plants.
Goes into burst, so Kira has some deficit to make up here. Wise, though, it seems like the name of the game here for Wise is like, I don't want to use my burst if I don't have to.
Oh, this is going to do so much damage. She's in rage. Oh, got 7 seconds left on the clock, 6. Wise has got a burst here. It goes for the burst.
Pushes her out. Oh, and Kira gets a tip.
Oh my gosh, she still gets asked for timeout.
Wow, so Kira taking it 3-0 over Wise with an amazing timeout. That was really brutal for Wise at the end there. Just putting himself in a position, you could tell he didn't want to use that burst. He wanted to be in a position where he could save it for round number 3 if it came, and then ate the Electro Web, and it just ended up being too much to handle. It's tough being in mind game situations like that.
Yeah, and it was definitely even harder for Wise in that situation too, because every time he'd activate burst, he'd be stuck in Latios. So it's not like he could immediately go for that get off me option. He himself was stuck and couldn't actually put out pressure and had to keep receiving Kira's pressure. I think Latios was a game changer during those matches.
Definitely. The first game we sort of saw Kira call it in 2 different places. We saw her call it in field and then in duel. Sort of as issue is like, I'm going to test how this works in this situation and this situation in the match. Sort of found her footing, and then like she called it in field phase so many times just to keep the momentum up, or in like end of round timeout situations to close. That was really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was so cool to see the differences between Kira's play and Slice's play, which is something that Wise is already used to. So being able to see a solid 3-0 like that just proves that Kira and Slice play so differently. It was really neat.
From knowing Slice's play, what do you feel like was sort of like the defining factor, I guess, and like what maybe threw Wise off a little bit?
I'm thinking it was the aggression. Kira's pressure is a lot different than Slice's in the fact that she goes for CA quite a bit. And then she goes for Pierce options, she'll go for reactionary wild charge, right? Whereas Slice is definitely more mobility oriented.
Slice is like super mobility oriented and kind of like bait and punish, whereas Kira's just like constant aggression, it seems like in a lot of ways. Yeah. So amazing stuff to Kira, going up taking it 3-0 over Wise in our first exhibition set. So what did we say? She's one of the Victory Road exhibition.
Semi-champion, did we say?
Semi-champions.
Yeah.
Semi-champions. Let's call it that. She at least has one synergy crystal to her crown. So an amazing first match there. But the first of 5. So we do have some more exhibition matches to get into. And this next one, Taito, I'm super excited for. A showcase of our Oceania players, our Australian players specifically, and 2 players that you said you've seen some, but are maybe like players you haven't seen showcased as much.
Yeah, so that's actually this match, Santa versus Icebergie. I haven't actually seen either of these players fight. And this is including during bracket or just in general. I haven't fought either of these players either. So it's going to be really, really neat to watch them. And like the Empoleon Garchomp matchup is so interesting. I think I've only ever watched it one time, so it's going to be really neat.
Yeah, I'm imagining that Empoleon's zoning is going to come into play a lot here, and I'm just really quickly going to give some background. So Santa and Icebergie are really good friends. They're friends in high school. They picked up Pokken at around the same time and have become rivals and grown at the game together. So they've been entering Oceania International Championships when they come around, and they've each had turns where they've done really, really well. So Icebergie was the highest placing player at the Oceania Internationals this year, losing only to the Japanese players. And then Santa did phenomenally in the Players' Cup. We only got one qualifier from Australia from that scene. So he actually beat Antwerp, sent Antwerp to losers early, made it all the way to Grands, and then Antwerp fought his way all the way back, reset bracket, and qualified over Santa. So Santa just barely missed the qualification. So really excited to see these two rivals. Yeah, so I'm sure he's like excited to be on stream and showcase his stuff after that play. But I'm excited to see what this matchup is like. Empoleon Garchomp, like you said, it's not one we get to see very often.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So the story behind them is so sweet. But yeah, I think the only game I've ever seen Empoleon versus Garchomp, it must have been like Jukum versus Puppy Havoc, and it was like ranked, you know? So it's gonna be so cool to watch them clash in a bit more of a professional environment. But yeah, we should definitely hop into it. I'm so excited to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm curious what the support picks are gonna be. To me, Garchomp is a character that like your support pick, even if you have one that's bread and butter, his tools are so definitive, like having Sandtombs, just the amount of pressure he applies close up. It's one that will potentially make you rethink your support options sometimes. We'll see what Santa goes to. Empoleon, not a character known for his strong reversals. So Santa does go for the Snivy, a way to sort of add a reversal to his kit. And Icebergie on the Victini.
Yeah, interesting. Victini on Garchomp. I don't think I've ever seen that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that they like it because you can set up sort of the crits with the 8x, and then also I think Icebergie has some unblockable setups still lasting somehow with the Victini, but we'll see if he can set it off. Santa off to an amazing start here. Wow. Empoleon, when he finds an opening, putting on the pressure.
What a flashy combo. I love watching Empoleon combos.
Yeah, Empoleon combos are just such a delight, like flying around the screen. Jukum showed it off so well in the Players' Cup. Santa's super creative as well. Oh, I like the walk to the side to re-space for the phase shift. That was sick from Santa.
Yeah. Being able to jump over those options is so useful, especially as Garchomp, because a lot of Garchomp's best optimal starters are aerials.
Yeah, totally. And this is like, I think we're going to see a lot of hard reads coming off the bat too, since these players are training partners, right? Like, they're definitely doing things and not feeling each other out in the way that Kira and Wise in game one. We're feeling each other out, we're trying to exploit each other, but these players know each other. I love that walk around from Santa again, that was so sick. Using the knockdown of Snivy to take the corner in dual phase, that was so good.
Breaks through. Incredible.
Wow. Yeah, so Santa off to a really strong start here, has full burst. Icebergie has to find a way to not lose these field phases in a ways that allows him to be cornered in duel.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting to watch because it's almost like Garchomp's projectiles override a lot of Empoleon's pressure as far as projectiles go, which is interesting because you never really think of Garchomp as a zoner.
Yeah, totally. That's a really good point. Icebergie using a lot of Garchomp's like field phase projectiles to sort of play a range game that you don't normally see in the matchup. And now finds an offensive opening. Dragon Rush pressure pushes to the corner. Oh, but a nice dive kick from Santa.
Yeah, I think Icebergie might have been trying to go. Might have been trying to go for an aerial, but misinputted it. But we do have a crit here. Does shift though. Doesn't get that optimal damage. Just walks up and grabs. What bravery.
Yeah, oh, nice bait. Goes into the cancel out of dig and catches Santa pushing a button. Maybe afraid that he was going to cancel the grab there, but regardless, Icebergie looking strong. Finds time to call Victini, both players sitting on burst.
Oh, miss spaces the Aqua Jet. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah, Aqua Jet level 3. I imagine that that's really tough with Empoleon because it's such a long-range move. Like, learning the spacing of that move probably takes a lot of time.
Absolutely.
Nice, using the movement option.
And Empoleon's mobility, wow. Pizza Cutter is so good.
Yeah, Pizza Cutter is an amazing option. Really tough to play around. And leading to a really strong dual phase there from Icebergy. Look at the pushback too. You love using the drill to just push back and take more space in the field phase.
Absolutely. And these close-up will they, won't they games that they're playing with each other is so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, will they, won't they? That's a really good place to put it. Santa getting a shift at full screen off the Ice Beam. Finally, we have a dual phase that's not starting. Icebergy forced to approach, but just closing it out, finding an opening really quickly. Santa now into burst of his own.
Goes for Pizza Cutter, does get punished off of that though. Santa does not go for the burst and instead decides to switch phases here. Garchomp's got defense down. Is that a punish?
I think it might be. I think that Santu might be a punish. That was really sick tech from Icebergy, but Santa back on it. All pressure into Garchomp, goes for the burst.
Incredible, lands that burst too. That is curtains.
Yeah, you talked about the will they, won't they games when they're right in each other's face. Another one coming in favor of Santa there, closing it out. Icebergy just blocking, afraid of taking anything. So Santa going up 1-0 over Icebergy.
Yeah, and what a dominant round too.
Yeah. Both these players doing so much cool stuff too, Taito. Like the walkarounds from the Snivy when they're knocked down, the drill to push back. They're playing field phase so well, just looking for all the little stuff, and it's making me totally want to geek out. Like we can slow this down. Yeah, this is sick. Australian Pokken is so good, and they work so hard, and like I'm just so excited when I get to see them play.
Yeah, well, it's even interesting too between different regions how different the players interact and how different they play. So, for instance, Icebergy plays so much different than somebody from NA, you know, who plays Garchomp.
Totally.
A double Sand Tomb. Triple Sand Tomb. We've seen a lot of green on screen.
Yeah, seriously. Keeps the pressure up with the dive kick, finds a JY. We'll see if it keeps going. There's some more green on screen, catches another Sand Tomb. Oh, maybe a little bit of drop. I don't know. That could have also been a whiff punish timing.
Wow. That's gotta be a punish. That is so neat. I've never seen a Chomp execute that option select versus Snivy before.
Yeah, definitely a punish. It's similar to like what Roxas will do against Frogadier, I think. So in that case, Santa, you know, he could take the throw break, but Icebergy now a complete reversal, going up with like all the momentum now, looking really strong, has reversed the sort of who's setting the pace of the match, looking real good. Santa now starting with Snivy. Oh, but Icebergy just in there. Wow.
I wonder what's going through Santa's mind after that. Just, why did I let him do that to me?
Yeah, it's frustrating too. Like you pick the Snivy because you want an option for some of like Icebergy, Garchomp's really strong aerial options, and then you call it too as a reversal since Empoleon has such bad wake up options, and then you eat these Sand Tombs. So it's like finding a way to get through this pressure. Here's the Snivy, nice. Calling out the drill, finds a punish off of it. We'll see the potential of the combos. Oh, a little bit of a drop there.
Classic CADC. Empoleon's is definitely slower. But again, that will they, won't they. So it's hard to tell what exactly they're gonna go for. Phase shifts again. Got some pocket sand going on there. Crit grab. Is this gonna... No, this won't do it. This is gonna do a big chunk of damage though.
Yeah, keeping in dual phase 2, that's good for Icebergy. He goes for the whip setup. Santa forced to burst here, gets out of the pressure, calls the Snivy. Okay, he's plus there, uses it to Aqua Jet in. Oh! Icebergy tries to grab a Rock Smash, but getting punished for it.
What a beautiful combo from Santa. It's still going. Okay, it shifts. Incredible. We got 8 seconds on the clock. Is Icebergy going to be able to bring this back? Oh! First off! Wait, what happened?
Okay, so Santa went for an Aqua Jet and he got caught by Icebergy's neutral Y, and then he was in the air and I thought it was gonna drop, and Icebergy picked it up with the burst. That was such a sick confirm.
So cool.
Wow, so that's like another great example of how these two players probably know this matchup better than anyone else in the world. Two players who are like among the best reps for this character around, right? They're definitely the best in their region, and they play each other all the time. So like showing off a confirm that probably few Garchomps would get in that situation. Icebergy looking so good.
Yeah, the spatial awareness of these players is so well executed. They definitely know what they're doing, and they know how to outspace certain options.
We see too why like Santa's working so hard to space exactly how he needs to in field phase or like Ice Burgie, because once either character has taken the corner, they're having a really easy time bullying them. So every field phase matters so much. Ice Burgie with the corner again here. Look at the pressure. He's still plus. Oh, Santa into the drill back, pushes Ice Burgie off.
Oh, whiffs that drill though. Santa's gonna get a nice combo off of this. Oh, does drop it though. Tries to go for a drill. We've got Aqua Jet coming in. Going for a little bit more of a projectile based neutral here. Does wind up catching with the Snivy though.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I thought we might see a little bit more like JY zoning from Santa, but Garchomp just gets in so quickly that it doesn't matter. Like he can just dig under it. So we're seeing the sort of, it's really hard for Santa to do this sort of spacing and play that we saw from like Jukum in the Players' Cup. But making the aggressive Empoleon work into the drill peck again. What's the mix? Caught Icy Burgie with a nice read on the Stone Edge.
Nice cross up. That was a pretty solid combo there from Ice Burgie. He's gonna try and bring Santa in. That was such an interesting interaction.
Yeah, digging underneath the Snivy.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, really, really good awareness from Ice Burgie. Oh, Santa's out of there. He just goes back to full screen, running away from the burst. He's cornered himself though. 8 seconds on the clock. He was ready for it.
Great reaction from Santa there. He knew that grab was coming too. He's like, there's not a whole lot of time left. Definitely Garchomp's gonna go for some kind of grab.
Yeah, I really like the drill pack too. Breaking the throw and also covering the release X. Really smart in that situation, and he didn't have to burn burst. Another throw break. That time it's just a tech. Goes into the 2i, not able to get a follow-up, but doesn't eat. Oh, Ice Burgie right back in.
Wow, Steel Wing is so good.
Yeah, Steel Wing's amazing. Just the pressure that you can do. Obviously, like the low version is so much better than the high. And the amount of chip damage it does, Ice Burgie was in trouble here, and it's not because he's eating damage. He's just taking all these Steel Wings.
Absolutely, and now Ice Burgie's got crits, so Santa's got to watch out here. Is just weaving back and forth with the Aqua Jet options here.
Yeah. Oh, the patience from Santa.
Oh, doesn't quite get that punish though.
Calls the Lapras. This is gonna trade.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Ice Burgie was just a few more toe taps away from that sweet KO there. Santa winds up taking game 2.
Yeah, going up 2-1. So Santa, the adjustment there, going like you mentioned to the Aqua Jets, right? Like he has the read on when Ice Burgie's gonna push a button to try to get in, and he's just reading with the Aqua Jet and catching, and that's been like a huge difference. He's had room to work with in neutral. So I feel like that's the adaptation he's made. Looking really strong here going into game number 4. Santa on set point here, so Ice Burgie has to win this. He wants to fight for that semi-champion role.
All right, does catch that Aqua Jet. Ice Burgie's just going, you're not doing this to me again.
Oh, Ice Burgie with a great release X.
Drops the combo though. Tries to go for another Sand Tomb.
Yeah, these throw breaks from Santa have been amazing. Oh, and what a way to jump out of the corner. Getting rid of pressure, that was great.
I believe drops the combo. Ice Burgie takes advantage of that, brings him back into field phase. So Empoleon's movement in field phase is so neat to watch, but he doesn't even get the chance, because we're right back into dual phase again. Playing Garchomp in a nutshell.
The Stone Edge is so good. Ice Burgie now with the one with all the reads. Just on a different corner of the attack triangle. Has all the pressure in the corner here now. Has burst if he wants it. The pressure's all his. Is this going to connect? It does!
It does!
Ice Burgie. Wow.
That is it.
Yeah, that was a really... I wonder if he left a small gap there just to give Santa room to call the Snivy. The mind games there are really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell that Ice Burgie is figuring out when Santa's going to go for that Snivy call.
Totally.
Trying to optimize when you can go for a Sand Tomb, when you can weave back and avoid it. It's so fun to watch.
Keeping the pressure up with these Steel Wings, but now Ice Burgie's fought his way out of the corner, working Santa in the opposing corner now, into another Sand Tomb. Wow.
Got some more green.
Yeah.
And being in the corner against Garchomp is so scary because of those 50-50s. And every option that Garchomp decides to do, you just get wickedly punished, wicked damage from it. Santa going for a pretty fancy combo here.
Whoa.
That was so fun.
Yeah, the Steel Wing wall splatting, that was really sick. It's like, he wasn't quite ready for the follow-up, but that set up really interesting situational combo.
Absolutely. All right, so now Icebergie's got burst. Oh, this is gonna be icky damage. Oh, drops the combo though. Does have that Victini up now, so any confirm is gonna just knock Santa's HP lead right off. Oh, jumps over the burst attempt. Is this gonna be enough to KO? Nope, not quite. We've got too many phase shift points. We go right back into field here.
Yeah, buys him time to call the side. Oh, but Icebergie ready. But then Santa backing off, doesn't get punished for it. 14 seconds. Santa only needs one hit and he finds it, ties it up. Santa's still on set point here. Also, the awareness too, like knowing that Ice Beam was the optimal win to punish Garchomp's burst in that situation as the starter, that was sick.
Yeah, that was so cool. Whose stretchy counterattack arm is better?
Nice cut here from Santa though. Coming out on top, not the counterattack coming into play, but look at this combo, just pushing Icebergie to the corner, gets the wall bonus. Icebergie fighting back. Just, oh, you see him charging the release exit and he connects with it.
Drill. You can see Icebergie charging drill just in case Santa decides to go for an aerial as well. Really neat.
Yeah, that was, he hasn't been charging it a ton, but making it count when it does, using it for the anti-air is the first time. Santa jump in, oh, catches with the Steel Wing.
That was a really low Steel Wing.
Yeah.
You can tell he's really good at those too, because I don't think I've seen him do a punishable Steel Wing yet.
No, yeah, just his high down Steel Wings have been super optimal. Both players in a burst now, all the pressure. Must win situation for Icebergie. Oh, the burst comes out, does it catch? It does, and with that, Santa's gonna take it 3-1 over Icebergie in this super impressive set. Like you said, just what was the phrasing that you used? I loved it. The mind games up close, coming out in Santa's favor. Will they, won't they? Yes. The will they, won't they falling in Santa's favor in that set. But both players looking phenomenal, and two players who clearly play all the time, just getting into the mind games right from the start.
Yeah, and you can tell they're very familiar with each other's play. There were multiple times that I saw during those sets where they were right in each other's faces, weren't entirely sure what to do, but then you'd see such a clean read where it's like, it's almost like the other player knew exactly what they were going to do at that time due to picking up habits because of how often they play. And that was really fun to watch.
Totally. The drill pecks from Santa to throw break too, that was the tool it seemed like he was going to in so many cases, where normally as an employee you wouldn't, it's too risky to go for it, but when you have that heart read, just playing with your training partner over and over, forced to go with it. And it's so fun to see two players who play each other super often, who have learned the game together in so many ways, going at it, and the little optimizations from down under.
Yeah, definitely. It was so cool to see that match for the first time too, with players that know their characters so well. It almost kind of seems like that matchup might be advantageous for Garchomp. I don't know if your thoughts are the same on that, but just by watching them play, that's what I almost gathered.
Interesting, yeah, because once Garchomp gets the corner, it's so tough for Empoleon to... he runs out of options, really. There's no good reversal. It's tough to get out of the corner. I could see it. I'd be curious to see what Santa and Icebergie think.
Yeah, it would be really cool to reach out to them and see what they think on the matchup too.
Totally. And now that we've had our Australian players play, I do just want to quickly say Viera 4 is a global Pokken tournament, so you can enter from anywhere. We're showcasing players from all regions because we're hoping that players from around the world will enter Victory Road 4. We're all stuck at home, sort of in this position where we can't travel out to events. Sometimes travel makes it tough, right? You can't get on a plane and fly to Europe every time you feel like playing Pokken with European players. And we're sort of blessed with the game where the online somehow is good enough that we can play players from different regions, right? We can play players from Europe. It's not always perfect, or from Australia, but we encourage players from all regions to join Victory Road and get in and enter the tournament. So maybe you'll have a shot at playing against Icebergie or Santa.
Yeah, definitely. And the prize pool is slowly rising as well. So you do have a chance at that sweet green if you really want to see it all the way through.
Yeah, the Icebergie special. We're trying to get to five Santombs, $500 for Icebergie. But
exactly.
so I know we have more amazing matches, and this next one, speaking of globetrotting around the world, hopping back to North America, this time an NA versus NA match, our only USA versus USA players as well. This is going to be Mutator against Alistair.
Yeah, and it's so interesting talking about these two players too, because obviously they're from the same region. They've fought each other offline and online. They know each other really well in real life as well. And they're definitely familiar with each other's play. I was actually talking to Burnside about this, but it was really interesting seeing Mutator go Shadow Mewtwo against Alistair's Suicune.
Yeah, this matchup is really scary in some ways for Shadow Mewtwo because any Suicune's damage is such a greatest asset, right? His punish damage is so good, so you're not allowed to make any mistakes really. But Mutator and Shadow Mewtwo being right, that glass cannon, that boss style character, you have all the options. So like Shadow Mewtwo, you just have to play perfect. Just play it perfectly and you'll be fine.
Yeah, of course. Don't mess up anywhere. Don't not make the wrong move and you'll be golden.
Yeah, and another interesting thing about this matchup too, we'll see if it comes into play, is Suicune's 8Y, his anti-air being true mid, means you can use it on reaction to Shadow Mewtwo's counterattack. So it sort of takes away that tool, and like Suicune's 2X being so good lets you play around some of Shadow Mewtwo's highs. Also, like, Shadow Mewtwo controls really close up and full screen really well in this matchup. So Alistair's probably going to want to sit in that mid-range, and it's going to be all about the shoulders Mutator trying to get in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This matchup is so interesting. I've talked to people who have played Suicune. I've talked to people who played Shadow Mewtwo. I haven't ever seen a full agreement on what this matchup is like for either character. I've seen 50-50, I've seen like 60-40. I don't think I've seen anything more domineering than that on either side, but nobody can fully agree on who has the advantage here, which I think makes this matchup very interesting.
Yeah, super excited to watch. I agree. Let's get into it, and I'll give my thoughts as we're transitioning. But I think that this matchup is really fun with Suicune, but you really have to pick your spots really well because Shadow Mewtwo has the damage to deal with your HP. So it's really about like who can control. It's all about neutral. If you lose neutral, this matchup is disgusting because waking up against Shadow Mewtwo is really tough. Your reversal in CAY is a little bit tough to use. So Alistair running Whimsical Victini, getting blessed by Whimsical, coming out of the gate with really great resources to work with, and Mutator on the Togekiss.
Yeah, so what I'm seeing here already is just the spacing between these two players. Alistair tries to go for a grab, but Mutator calls it out, going for a really nice optimal on the wall. Gonna go for the pillar. Right up in Alistair's face, though. We don't want to use pillar too far away against Suicune because you will get that sweet Miracle damage. Does call out the not fully charged CA. Fun fact, you can grab that on reaction there.
Yeah, really nice punch. Oh, catches Alistair waking up with a button. Then we see him fully charging, baits an 8Y and finds a punish with a 2Y. Wow. So Mutator coming out of the gate really, really strong.
Yeah, what incredible spacing too. Mutator is staying just out of the range of close-up 6X there from Suicune and trying to go for footsies with 2Y.
Yeah. Calling out the spacing is exactly right. Mutator, one of the best players in the world, I think, at spacing around Suicune's buttons. Playing against Mutator as Suicune can be super frustrating. Oh, wow, a clank on the fully charged. That was wild. Alistair getting punished for another grab here. Mutator in full control gets the chance to set up a pillar.
What a good jump back, too. Alistair going for a lot of dash-up grabs here. Mutator's spacing has been really good. Oh, outlast the CA, does get the pillar. Is he gonna go for the unblockable? He is. But Alistair, yet not interested in getting that unblockable, decides to go for a burst of his own. Is he gonna be able to punish? No. No, Suicune at that range can't punish that.
No, yeah, Water Pillar just sets up a little bit of pressure, but not enough. Mutator, a nice read here on Wake Up CA, catching Alistair in a really bad spot here, right? That covers CA, covers counter burst. Oh, a nice perfect block from Mutator.
Nice perfect block.
Yeah, these two players, the best perfect blockers among them in North America. There we see Alistair going for some perfect blocks on the sort of sidestep movement. Really interesting. Goes to the Miracle, doesn't come out, finds room though to call Victini.
What a nice teleport. Incredible. Mutator baiting out all these counterattacks, knowing exactly what to do. Every time Suicune pressed a button, you can tell that Mutator knows this matchup so well. And actually, I recall talking to him, and he was saying he knows this matchup well because of you, Burnside, so there's that too.
Yeah, we played this matchup a lot, so it's a really fun one. And Mutator is the sort of player too who he uses his resources really well. So in that position too, just tends to sort of sit in field phase, knowing Alistair's in a bad spot. Like this field phase, once Shadow Mewtwo set up on Oki, can be really frustrating for Suicune. You want to play it at range. Finds a nice throw here, shoulder in. Oh, Alistair ready for the charge there.
Wow, what an interesting Clank. Drops the combo though. Alistair's going for some pretty good lows, trying to intercept some of this damage. Does get the crit flame flow, decides to go for a grab. Just to switch phases. I believe there wasn't a whole lot of phase shift points left anyway, so that was a pretty good call on Mutator's part.
Yeah, definitely. Mutator, definitely one of the players who's pushing the phase reset game the most in North America. He understands his phase shift points really well. Nice jump there.
Great beat.
Yeah, it's so hard to use Mirko in this matchup. Alistair going to it a little bit too much.
Yeah. He knows exactly when to bait that Mirko too. Playing so efficiently against Alistair does wind up getting that CAY though.
Yeah, nice punish for Alistair. Mutator to burst though, going to take away all of Alistair's pressure here. Oh, baiting the Mirko again. Alistair trying to call it out on a faster version of the projectile there. Mutator into burst just for the chip, says thank you very much. Alistair makes room to call Victini. Not enough for burst though, that could come into play.
Wow, look at all these dash. Mutators, oh, that's gonna be, he's gone.
Yeah, that was a sick catch by Alistair, tying it up. Didn't have to go to burst.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. The punish game just so threatening.
Yeah, and there is so much going on inside Mutator's head all the time. I recall one specific stream he had where he was saying he counts phase shift points just constantly. So it's not like he's playing just reactionary, he's playing phase shift point based as well.
Totally, yeah. Mutator, just incredible awareness. Oh, there's that shoulder we were talking about that's so important in this matchup. Gives Shadow Mewtwo control at mid-range, even though that's where Alistair wants him to be as Suicune, right? So Mutator really running offense here. Has burst, all the pressure continuing. Alistair in a burst of his own just to find some room to breathe.
What a nice perfect block again. Mutator knows this matchup. Incredible.
Yeah, we're really seeing how Perfect Block redefines entire matchups and entire field phases when two players are super accurate with them and able to get them on every attempt. Mutator, a nice jump in, goes to the dive kick, baits an anti-air from Alistair, getting punished for it, and that's gonna close out this round. Alistair, you mentioned it earlier, Mutator doing just such a good job of spacing around these options and sort of baiting out options that he knows are gonna come and then punishing them.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell he's kind of dodging and weaving just outside the range of 6x, knowing when it's going to come. When Alistair tries to go for that option, you can see Mutator knowing exactly when to use his own 6x, knowing when to bait Mirror Coat. This matchup is so natural for Mutator.
Yeah, you really feel the passive pressure on the Suicune side of this matchup when you're sitting in block, like right here. Can threaten with shoulder. Alistair coming out on top though with the 2i. With the 2i. Oh wow, into a 6y. He's gonna get punished for it. Alistair looking like me going for a 6y. That's uncharacteristic of him to go for any 6y there, so that's a hard read from him. Into the neutral Ys. Now some pressure with pillars. Finds a Mirko.
First Mirko of the match. Really good damage on that too. So Mutator is gonna go right into burst here. He's gonna go for his own pressure. It looks like he's gonna stay. Oh, I was just gonna say he's gonna try and stay in Suicune's face. Gets a counterattack. Is that gonna hit? I don't think so. Nope. Yet too low of a wall splat. This might be no phase shift.
Yep, not quite enough. Alistair living with just 1 HP. Homing, whiffing. Oh, Alistair off the synergy crystals, getting burst. He has a chance to come back here. Mutator missing a perfect block for the first time in a while against a homing. Nerve-wracking to try to make that read in that situation. Calls the Togekiss. At least he's going to have the ability to move.
Gonna hit.
Calls burst. Oh, it does!
What an incredible combo! Icy Wind into burst. Is that going to be it? That is it.
Nice. Alistair tying it up 1-1. So, did you catch it, Tida? What happened there? Did Mutator try to teleport back to avoid the Icy Wind?
Yeah, so it almost looks like Mutator wanted to teleport to avoid the Icy Wind, to avoid the perfect Icy Wind especially. But Alistair knew that was coming and decided to burst. And Icy Wind is so active too, so teleport is not always the best option against that, especially perfect Icy Wind.
Totally, yeah, just catching him on the back. So good stuff from Alistair making the adaptation. Starting off with Victini again, thanks to the Whimsical. Mirror Code out, it gives him chip at least. Now Alistair on the offensive. Nice perfect block again from Mutator, just jumps back, buys him room to keep the offense going.
These players are so fun to watch because they have so much awareness for frame data. And that's what I love.
Yeah, it's just the knowing when it's their turn and when they're gonna try to steal a turn, like based on the frame data line. Oh, there! Oh, caught by the dive kick. So clean from Alistar.
Going for that lovely Suicune optimal as well. What
nice
the
throw.
crap? We've seen a few of those during these matches today, Burnside, and it's always so cool to see that work because I can never get that to work.
Yeah, you mentioned. Oh, nice. That's a good throw from Mutator. That's gonna get him burst too. This is a comeback potential. Mutator, Shadow Mewtwo only needs you only need a sliver to make magic happen. No, nice Frogadier setup, but Alistar ready for it. That homing cancel was so good.
That was interesting. Alistar wasn't in burst, was he?
No, not in burst at all.
I almost saw some light armor during that. Did you?
I think he perfectly timed. Yeah, it was sick. I think it was a perfectly timed homing cancel to avoid the grab and then straight into block. I don't know, and then straight to grab at the end, just catching Mutator off guard. It was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, Mutator knows exactly what to do against the mirror coats too, and which combos to go for.
Wow, you don't see a player using the recover in dual phase very often, but Mutator doing it there. Nice setup, finds a grab, setting up the field phase pressure yet again. On the jump and keeping this pressure going. Now into burst, says it's not your turn yet.
It's never your turn. I'm Shadow Mewtwo. He's gonna go for all of this chip damage too. Goes for the shield break, so Alistar does not have burst anymore to get him off.
Nice pressure, uses the Frogadier. Oh, the 2-eye, that's gonna be a punch from Alistar. He wants burst here so badly. That shield break coming into play. Mutator, nice read on the throw. Oh, and Alistar caught. So Mutator tying it up.
Yeah, Sonic Blast level 1 is such a good neutral projectile to use, especially at that range, and it does a lot of pushback when you get hit by it too.
Yeah, he's been charging it and catches with the Frogadier. Good stuff.
Suicune's dash back is so slow, gets caught by like the slowest option.
Yeah, so bad in field phase compared to dual phase, where it's amazing. Oh, that was really interesting armor.
Very nice homing cancel. Mutator knows exactly when Alistar's gonna grab.
Yeah, great defense. Oh, the dash up vortex catching. That read, Taito. Oh my gosh, that read.
I loved that so much.
Yeah, that was super sick. So in that situation, Mutator in a position where he has a lot of HP. He has burst if he needs it. Whoa, what a switch from Alistar.
What a switch. So, fun fact about this matchup, Shadow Mewtwo does pretty poorly against Weavile's pressure. I don't know how well Mutator knows this matchup, but coming from somebody who has played this matchup with some pretty good Weaviles in the past, it is so hard to get out of the corner against this silly little cat character. Just full screen homing attacks though. Maybe I need to take back what I said.
Yeah, I really like what Alistar was doing there, using the signal slashes to charge Magikarp. So using it, oh, that's so smart. So Magikarp really slow charging support, but if you use the double signal slash, it gets you about 25% of the charge. So Alistar trying to show off a really interesting strategy here, but Mutator, all the pressure in the world, not gonna have to worry about the corner.
Oh my gosh, what a perfect! Mutator kept Alistar in the corner so sufficiently during that match. Would not let him breathe, knew exactly what Alistar was gonna do. So that is the trick during this matchup. When you get Weavile in the corner, that is essentially curtains for Weavile.
Yeah, really interesting. So Alistar's decision to go to the signal slash is sort of biting him because it's stuck him in the dual face corner. Nice perfect block from Mutator. Finds a, I don't think that's a punish, but just catches Alistar off guard, works his way in. Mutator with lots of space to work with. Alistar misspacing.
I wonder how long Alistar's been practicing this character for. I've never seen him play Weavile, I don't think.
Alistar's had a Weavile for about 2 years now. It's definitely a tertiary character for him. He doesn't go to it a ton. It's definitely in the toolkit, but looking like this matchup is feeling like one he's maybe not as comfortable as he was hoping in.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that was a very fast game. Kudos to Mutator for knowing exactly what to do.
Yeah, really good stuff for Mutator. Ends up taking it 3-1 over Alistar. Making that Weavile matchup look doable. Like you were saying, it's a tough matchup, but once you get the corner and the pressure's on, it seems like Shadow Mewtwo does have the tools to make it happen?
Yeah, definitely. Weavile can agility through a lot of Shadow Mewtwo's projectiles, so that is definitely one thing you need to be aware of. But it's almost kind of like Mutator didn't give him enough room to breathe to do that. Yeah. So that was really fun to watch. What a fast, angry game. You know, you could feel the pressure and the aggression in that game, and it was really, really neat.
Yeah, totally. I think that a little bit of frustration also coming out on the Weavile side of Alistair at the end there. Just knowing him, I know he's not happy with how that went. But amazing play from Mutator too, showing off, both players really showing off the incredible perfect blocking, which I always love to see. And I think coming into Victory Road, know that you're going to see a ton more of that in the top 16 and top 8 stream that we are going to be showcasing. So much like this exhibition, we're trying to do something really special. So Victory Road's a tournament series that's been around for a long time, but we've always had sort of offline streams to supplement and to sort of carry us through. So Victory Road's never had a full online stream for its online tournaments. But this fall, this is going to be the first one. So as you see, tournament play is going to happen Saturday, September 19th. Then we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a window just to work out any kinks, get the footage. Pokken's not always easy on the recording side. So give us some breathing room. You can come back to us two weeks later. Maybe it's 3 weeks later, actually. Doesn't matter. Two weeks later. And and for the top 16 stream on Saturday, October 3rd, and the top 8 final stream on Sunday, October 4th. So you'll be able to catch all the bracket action from Victory Road 4 playing out. And Taito, do you want to talk about their growing pot a little bit?
Yeah, so initially I believe it started off at around $100, am I correct?
Yeah, so it started off at 0, but it quickly jumped to around $100 because every single person who registers up to 100 players adds $5 to the pool. And in like the first 20 minutes, we hit that $100 mark.
Incredible. Yeah, there's already been so many people who have signed up. I believe the entrance count right now, we're sitting pretty at 70. Last I checked at least. So it's going to be really cool seeing those numbers climb. And if we're lucky, maybe we can see some of these players that we're showcasing today in top 8. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be super exciting. I'd love to see any of these players there. Definitely all of them contenders for that top 16 stream as well. And if you're curious about getting in on Victory Road 4, if you want to play in this tournament, anyone around the world, the only pre-requirement is you have to play Pokken. And you have to have access to the internet and a Switch. You can hop on, you can join this tournament. Check out smash.gg/victoryroad4. Register there, check out the rules section. You can join the Victory Road Discord, which is going to be where we're going to coordinate matches and then also coordinate sharing of the recordings and that sort of thing for stream. But regardless, if you're interested in Victory Road 4, and if you're here, I imagine you are, you've checked out our exhibition stream. So check out smash.gg/victoryroad4. Tell your friends, share it on Twitter. We'd appreciate it tons. To all you Zoomers out there, share it anywhere that you share it. Share it on TikTok. I'm not going to tell you where to share it. Call your friend on the phone. Tell them about Victory Road. Anywhere you like.
Absolutely, and I don't know about you, Burnside, but I'm so ready to drown in pools.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've competed in a tournament as big as Victory Road, and the community is really strong, and there's so many players who are using this opportunity, while we're at home to sort of really get comfortable playing in the online space. There's really heavy hitters qualified already. Fabulous is qualified. Wingtide is qualified. Kira is not qualified, registered. What am I saying? I'm saying qualified like we're still on a Pokemon stream. Like this is still the Players' Cup. They're registered.
Pre-qualified.
Yeah, anyone who registered is pre-qualified to play in the tournament. But regardless, lots of amazing players. Roxo, Shadowcat, Jukum. So many amazing players. And then also lots of players, I think, just coming to the bracket, looking to test themselves, get some experience. So don't feel like you have to be the best player in the world, the best player in North America to enter this bracket too. It's really for anyone and just a chance to play some awesome Pokken.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is, definitely accessible for some of the newer players as well. So if you haven't done a bracket quite like this and you're interested, I highly recommend Victory Road, just because you have an opportunity to come across people of your own skill level, as well as test your own skill level against people who might be better than you. So absolutely recommend it. Like Burnside was saying, share it anywhere you can, check it out, register. It's not going to kill you if you don't, and it's going to be really fun.
So do it. But We're not done. Yeah, but don't do it. But we still have 2 more matches, so don't go anywhere. The exhibitions are continuing. Next one, I am so excited for this one. We have 2 sort of up-and-coming players who, both these players, they told us they came into the scene at the same time, sort of together, or Cloud and Vanny, they sort of, as Vanny was starting, Cloud sort of was one of the first people to engage her in the community, talk to her, help her level up. They became training partners. They played this matchup constantly, and Cloud was giving her advice on how to improve, how to get better, and now they really go toe-to-toe. And talking about this online environment, Taito, Vanny, one of the players, and M2 Cloud from Germany, one of the players who have done really well in our previous 2 online majors that we've had for the Pokken community. So Corona Conquerors and Bamboo Battles from Panda Global. So both these players top 8ing both of those tournaments. Their first top 8's really impressive stuff for them. So I'm really excited to see what they do in Victory Road 4 and to see how they do in this exhibition match.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, seeing them dominate so victoriously in the last 2 brackets that you were mentioning, Burnside, it's really interesting to see them continuing to dominate the online scene. Both players are really, really talented too, and both are fairly new. I believe Vanny came into the community in 2018, and Cloud came into the community around the same time. And in those 2 years, they've gotten better than some of the veterans, which is so fun to see because it's the next generation of new top players, and I can't wait to see them play offline too when the time finally comes.
Yeah, same. And one thing too that I think so cool, so like Cloud basically has said that shout outs to Mutator. Mutator was a player who, when Cloud first came into the scene, really sort of gave Mutator gave Cloud a bunch of advice, then Cloud sort of passing it on to Vanny. So I love to see that sort of, no one owes anyone their time, right? Like, we're only here engaging with Pokken because we want to be, because it's fun, because we enjoy it. But a great way to give back, if someone teaches you, just teach someone else. Find someone who wants to get better at the game, sort of give them that opportunity, invest in them, and then who knows, maybe through that training together, you'll both level up, find yourself in a better position to be qualifying, to be getting top 8s. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be really, really fun to watch these 2 players fight against each other. They do play quite a bit, just because, as you said, they came around into the community around the same time. Mewtwo was Vanny's coach. But Blastoise against Charizard. I wonder if I've ever seen this. I'm thinking maybe. I think I saw Mutator play Blastoise against Charizard, Raikel's Charizard. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys, how their dynamic kind of works.
Yeah, totally. Let's get into it. And it's the classic matchup. Blastoise against Charizard, the Pokemon Stadium matchup, Red vs. Blue, Gen 1. It's just like so good to see. It really interesting because Blastoise, a zoner grappler in a lot of ways. He has really good tools to keep characters out, but Charizard with the instant J6Ys can delete projectiles at mid-range. So I'm curious how Vanny's going to use that. And Vanny Zard, I could talk about it for so long. Such this like bait and punish Zard that uses the aerial mobility of Flight Stance to get around, but Blastoise is going to shut down some of that potential for aerial mobility. So I'll be curious to see how it plays out. Vanny, though, already starting off strong with a good field phase win.
Yeah, absolutely. It might have tried to dash there with the grab. The dash didn't come out though. What is it? Water Spout, right?
Yep.
Water Spout is such a good move to use when you're in range because it counter pierces and it does quite a bit of chip.
Oh, goes over the Fire Punch with the AY. That's great matchup awareness from Cloud coming out. And the Rotom combos from Vanny. Signature support for her. Yeah, so good.
What a nice reset too. You see Vanny do one of 2 things. You see Vanny go for a time stall Rotom combo, or she'll do a reset into something like Seismic Toss or another option. It's really, really cool to see that. Does get KO'd though.
Yeah, Cloud, the one redeeming thing about Blastoise's CA that it does some pretty good damage, so getting a nice punish there on Vanny. Vanny looked great all throughout that round, and then Cloud just like a couple good reads coming back from Blastoise's damage.
Does drop the combo, just goes for a grab. Sometimes in matchups like these where Blastoise can go for a defense buff, you just gotta get in before he has a chance to do that. Easier to knock him out that way.
Oh, there we see the engine. J6
Like, I'm not sure if you saw that, but Vanny managed to go through the projectile.
Yeah, it's J6Y deleting the projectile is so smart coming into play. That was awesome. So that's where we talked about the mid-range. Like, I think once you're between Water Spout, then Charizard's in a good spot. It's just getting past that Water Spout. That was so good.
Tries to go through the projectile, but Cloud catching with the 6X there. What a high damaging combo. And now Cloud's got a defense buff, so this Seismic Toss isn't going to do a whole lot.
Yep, but gets
just
Vanny...
a tiny little splinter.
Yeah, the smallest Seismic Toss ever thrown. Got Vanny the corner, but Cloud Ready sort of fighting Vanny on the wake up, fights his way out of the corner. Now into Water Spout, Vanny into Burst.
You sometimes expect a mix off of that. Goes for the Seismic Toss. Is he going to go for the Burst off of this? No, wants to go for a reset.
Okay, calls the Rotom, so Cloud can't jump at least.
So Blastoise is very plus after Burst Attack on block, so decides to go for a trap with Ninetales here. Vanny does get hit. Now she's got an attack debuff here. Cloud's doing a really good job of keeping her in the corner and keeping her exactly where he wants her.
Yeah, using the J6Y to delete the projectile again, but not paying off.
Drop shield. Yep, and that means Cloud takes game 1.
Yeah, really great matchup knowledge from Cloud coming into play there, sort of baiting Vanny into using the J6Y, the projectile deleting aerial advancing attack from Charizard, and then punishing her with the Water Gun follow-ups. And then Cloud, one of my favorite things about Cloud's Blastoise is how he plays field phase. He loves putting down those bubble traps and just putting people in bad spots, and then using the time while they're locked and blocked just to like walk away, create space.
Yeah, stall all the time a little bit. And it can be so threatening when you're in the corner against a stationary trap like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, are they gonna approach? Are they gonna, spam me out with projectiles? Like, what's gonna happen? And sometimes you find yourself in a panic situation.
Totally. Okay, now Vanny with the pressure finds the connection, wins another field phase. All these field phase wins are really big. The meter matters a lot to Charizard. He's a 150cc character, so every win gets you a little bit closer to that amazing burst. Vanny, we see her patient. She doesn't want to overcommit to anything. Fights her way in. Weird trade there.
Yeah. Okay, so Mewtwo, Cloud doing such a good job of dodging and weaving and punishing some whiffed options from Vanny here as well.
Oh, great awareness from Vanny. Knowing she could wake up, grab in the face of that Water Spout. Wow.
What a brave call, too. Water Spout looks like it has a much bigger hitbox than it does, but if you know you're outside or inside that range, you can definitely punish.
Vanny now into Burst. Okay, calls the Jirachi. I love the Jirachi pick. This is so good for Charizard. I totally see why she had, why the Rotom works so well, because it's paired with the Jirachi, so it makes Charizard Burst even better. Oh, that's a combo. That's going to connect. There's going to be huge
Very nice
damage.
Confirm. I believe that's going to be it because Vanny is enhanced with Jirachi as well.
It makes me just want to nerd out in the biggest way about seeing someone run Jirachi Zard, because Jirachi Zard is this like old school Japanese Charizard choice that a lot of North American and European Zards just don't run. But now Vanny, the new generation, pulling out the old tech, probably discovered herself. It's so good. Oh, it makes me so happy.
Absolutely, and it's so scary when you've got Charizard in Burst with a buff like that. Because it already does so much damage, and in Burst with Jirachi just way more, and it's so terrifying.
Totally, and you take such big risks too. Jirachi doing such a good job mitigating, and Vanny showing off her aerial mobility so well with the Charizard. But now M2 Cloud with the advantage here, goes into Burst. He's gonna have a little bit of an opportunity to pressure Vanny, walking her to the corner, but she finds her read.
What a good call! Tries to go for a grab of her own. These grab bags!
So good from Vanny. Oh, tries to get the splat on the far combo. That's really tough to space. Charizard combos among the hardest in the game to optimize.
Oh, just barely outside the range of 6x too. Okay, so Vanny's on a hard knockdown, does decide to go for Burst. Is she gonna call Jirachi? Yes.
Vanny has played this so perfectly, outlasting Cloud's Burst. Oh, nice. Great use of Ninetales getting out of a pressure situation. But now Vanny is mitigating. Oh, aggression from Cloud. In the face of Burst, that's so scary. Is this gonna be enough? I don't think so. Jirachi coming into play.
Enough. Yep, Vanny still got that synergy buff. And Cloud just sitting pretty, wondering what Vanny's gonna do. Let's Burst run out. 3 seconds on the clock. Vanny gets it. Right at the last second. What a phenomenal match.
Yeah, that was a sick read from Vanny in the corner. She'd stayed patient. She had a life deficit that she had to make up. Excuse me, and just found Cloud. She went to an option that would chip, so give her at least a chance of evening up the life totals, and it ended up connecting. That was amazing from Vanny. The way she's playing Burst, especially, so strong, and we see that the Jirachi coming into play right after we talked about it, because even Cloud, he takes this amazing risk, this huge risk, connects, finds the right read with that 6x, and it doesn't even pay off. He doesn't even get to win from this like amazing read.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
The field-face projectile game for these two characters is so interesting to watch because sometimes they clash, sometimes they eradicate the other. Vanny trying to bait out some options here, gets Cloud in the corner. Goes for another rapid spin.
Oh! I don't know if that was a call out. Yeah, that was sick.
Wow, she is so good at doing these short hops here to make sure that wall combo lands. Cloud as well. They both know their optimals and their wall spots so well. Cloud gets a grab. That setup is so threatening because you can't actually anti-air Blastoise when he's activating Bubble.
Yeah, Cloud, one of the best users of Blastoise's Bubble I've ever seen. He theory crafts it with Mutator. Vanny calling Jirachi, hoping to get enough for Burst. Then CADC's gets it. Now, after calling into Burst.
What a brave call. Does get a crit grab. Vanny's doing a pretty good job at just dodging and weaving, trying to bait something from Cloud, but he's just sitting in shield, trying to figure out what to do now. We got 8 seconds on the clock. Gets the Dragon Claw.
That was phenomenal. She knew exactly too when the Ninetales was gonna win. She had the 2x timed perfectly. Oh my goodness, Vanny. Showing that they've definitely played this matchup a lot. This is like shades of the Icy Burgie Santa because it's so clear that they are training partners. They're aware, their knowledge of different options. It's just, it's so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Full agree on that one. You can just tell when two players know each other so well. Going for this really nice combo finishes off with what the community would call fire move.
Yeah, no, the spacing! Vanny backing up, punishing the rapid spin with the grab. That was so good.
Yeah, what incredible spacing there, Burnside.
Again!
More spacing!
The 2x!
These punchings are so good.
Oh my gosh, the aerial movement too. Oh! The way in which both these players, like that mid-range footsies game that just played out was phenomenal. Both players playing really patiently, spacing around. Vanny coming out on top, getting a punish on the 6x, but like that was so fun to see. I was just like silent and in awe, taking in how well these players know this matchup. Cloud now, Vanny into the skies. Cloud using that rapid spin diligently. He's just sticking to it, trying to find his way in, goes to Burst.
Trapping Vanny in the corner too. Is Vanny gonna go for, yes, she's gonna go for Burst, probably gonna call Jirachi here. We've got 15 seconds left. They both got Burst. Vanny's got Enhanced.
Oh, she catches!
And lands the Burst!
Wow, this is gonna be...
This has gotta be enough.
Yeah, huge damage. Cloud and Burst, but, you know, Charizard Burst damage already doing so much, and Jirachi just pushing it over the edge. So doing an extra 50% there thanks to, well, I guess Burst already there, an extra 30% thanks to the Jirachi. Or 20%, 20% defense.
Cloud going Mewtwo, switching over to his main character.
Switching the script. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Vanny looked really strong, and he was having a lot of trouble when she was playing that full screen game. He's like forcing himself to go to the rapid spins and the different options. I like this adaptation from Cloud, but this is a tough matchup for Mewtwo actually.
Absolutely, because Charizard can actually bait and punish 8Y from Mewtwo.
Okay, so Cloud applying some pressure, forcing Vanny to the corner. But Vanny running Whimsical Jirachi, and she got a great benefit from it right off the bat. So she's almost at Burst, already at Charizard, even though she lost the field phase. No, she won that field phase, excuse me.
What a great aerial call-out from Cloud, too.
Yeah, that great JY, that was really good patience. And then, oh, the setup with the side Y into grab.
Yeah, IADJY is so good in this matchup because instead of trying to go for an 8Y, you can air to air. And Mewtwo's aerial options are so scary and so good.
Yeah, So it's like, can Vanny space around the IADJY? Like, she's doing such a good job doing it so far. But Cloud finding a punish. So now Vanny, she got that really amazing start with the Whimsical. And she hasn't gotten into the Jirachi yet, playing a little bit more reserved with Burst, but here she goes into it.
Oh, wow, okay. Just going for it. Incredible.
Yeah, that's 6x.
Not quite enough to KO, though. Tries to go for the Mutator setup when spaced properly, and when you push your opponent back just in front of the fire spin there, it can be an unblockable.
Yeah, really scary, ambiguous setup. But Cloud taking round number 1. Vanny having a really hard time. She got that really great benefit from Burst and then not getting the most of it. But we'll see. I think she just perfect blocked that forward Y, giving her just a little bit more room to react. But now Cloud finding a punish with the forward Y. Nice jump there from Vanny. Oh, goes for the throw. Cloud ready for it. Answers back.
What a good reactionary fire punch there, too.
Yeah, oh, there's that JY you were talking about coming to play.
Definitely. That seems like it's such a good option. See, right there is what I mean. I believe even if you homing cancel, you can still get hit by that. Incredible. What a dominant ride from Cloud. In fact, he gets his own perfect and closes out that match.
Yeah, tying it up 2-2. Cloud looking like this was definitely the pick to swing into. We said it was a winning matchup for Charizard, but Vanny having a hard time getting offense started in a lot of ways. And I think maybe sitting on the burst, even though she got it early, coming back to bite her in some ways. We'll see. You never know what's going to happen with Whimsical. It's always random. If she got an early one, I'd hope she's kind of press it a little bit here, but we'll see. I'm sure she's going to have adaptations to make in this round.
Yeah, it's definitely apparent that she's a little bit more uncomfortable against Cloud's Mewtwo as opposed to his Blastoise. And Cloud seemingly knows exactly what to do against Charizard as this character.
Yeah, I like the double homing just to create space, backs off, just wanting to play a little bit more neutral. Cloud playing field phase so well.
What a good whiff punish too. That's really solid damage in field phase.
Yeah.
Now we're just feeling each other out, doing some footsies, playing some neutral.
Oh, the fire punch connecting for Vanny. This is going to be big damage and corner push. Oh, dropping the jump cancel there. I love how she uses that cancel to re-space just to add a space on neutral where she wants more. Cloud finding a nicely spaced throw though, has himself in a strong situation, sets up the fire spin Oki again, and finds a grab to close out round number 1.
Yeah, Mewtwo's grab is so threatening too because it does so much damage.
Yeah, it's such one of Mewtwo's best tools, super scary, long range, and helping Cloud get onto set point here against Vanny. Vanny has to win this round. Oh, Cloud letting go of shield. He doesn't want to get his shield broken, lose that meter.
Wow, knew that Cloud was going to go for a block there. Either that or thought she could punish.
Nice damage here.
Getting her groove back for sure.
Yeah, doesn't get punished for the seismic talk, but there's the AY coming into play. Oh, doesn't need a punish. That was lucky on that whiff. Cloud not quite ready for it. These cancels from Vanny are so good. Vanny has burst. She can go to it whenever she wants, but she does have the life lead, so she doesn't have to overcommit here. Nice duck on the Psycho Cut. Goes to the Fire Punch. Punish from Cloud.
Doesn't fully commit to the Fire Punch either, so winds up getting that punish. Right back into dual phase here. Mewtwo, Cloud, sorry, does have a speed buff, so Vanny's got to watch out for some of these options.
Oh, both
players!
There you go! And not wanting to overcommit, now Vanny in burst.
Calls Jirachi once again. Cloud has got pretty low HP, so he's got to watch out here. Playing on the defensive. He just goes for it again. 8 seconds on the clock. Not quite enough for Vanny into rage.
Oh, base out of fire punch. Yeah, it goes in the burst. That's going to close it up, tying it up. That reaction, like you're saying, so good. Just baiting something out from Cloud. He had to do something. She's sitting with so little time in such a good position.
Absolutely. Now Vanny's got Cloud on match point as well.
Okay, Cloud's been playing field phase really well, but Vanny, oh, just the spacing not in her favor there, a little bit for the fire punch, finds the throw afterwards. As long as Vanny can win the field phases, she's going to be in a good position here, but Cloud very close to that Mewtwo burst. Amazingly powerful Mewtwo burst.
Yeah, and Vanny's cancels are so good too. When she knows exactly when something isn't going to land, she cancels and goes back into a safe position so that Cloud can't punish her.
Oh, the spacing from Vanny, spacing out the AY, that was so strong with the dive kick.
What an incredible foot move.
Oh, spacing around the fire punch again. Nice duck from Vanny. Vanny playing defense so well here. This is her baited punish
utilizing low
stuff.
stance. Incredible! Vanny takes the game and wins the match.
Yes.
That was so hyped to watch Burnside.
Really, really incredible reaction there from Vanny to close it out, taking it 3-2. You really highlighted on it too, the reactions from both those players in so many situations. Vanny saving that reaction specifically to the Psycho Cuts right at the end to close it out, just picking the damage perfectly. That if we have matches that are like close to that hype in Victory Road, I'm gonna be so happy.
Me too, and they're so much fun to commentate too because you're always on the edge of your seat and you want to know what these players are going to do, and it's so apparent that they know each other's play styles and they're very familiar with the matchup in of itself as well, separate from the player. So when Cloud went for Mewtwo those last few games, it was really interesting to see Vanny adapt. I loved watching her adapt from Blastoise into Mewtwo.
Yeah, it was you could totally see it happen, right? Like Cloud in game number 4 just had complete control. He was running offense perfectly. He was winning all the field phases. And then all of a sudden for Vanny, like something clicked, right? And the spacing, she was like not playing Blastoise anymore. This is Mewtwo. And she started getting those like classic Vanny, like I'm going to say it right out the range of this move, bait you to use it, like the 8Y from Mewtwo and all those different options. And then just getting the punishes. And Charizard's punish game is so good. You know, there's amazing Charizard players like Raikel. There's a bunch in Japan as well, but Vanny has her own take on Charizard that makes me so happy to see. The spacing,
Absolutely.
yeah, the whiff punishes, everything.
Yeah, it's almost fresh-faced in a sense.
Yeah.
When you see these new players kind of stylize their character, think outside the box when they use their character too. It is so refreshing, and Vanny definitely utilizes Charizard in a way that I personally don't think I've seen before. I'd love to see where else she decides to go with Charizard, and maybe she'll be a top player one day. I can see it.
Yeah, totally. Two of the EU's most up-and-coming players right now. I know both of them excited to sort of have the opportunity to compete online. They sort of came to the scene and then haven't had the chance to compete offline and have really pushed themselves, and I love to see that. Like, I think online tournaments matter. We live in a virtual world at this moment, so for me, they count, they're important, they're cool, and getting those placings, they really matter to me. I watch them closely. So come Victory Road, I wouldn't be surprised to see Vanny or Cloud in top 16, top 8. And speaking of innovative Charizards, this next match that we're going to have is going to be featuring another innovative Charizard in his own right, Brian Senpai versus Enigma. Both these players, original founding members of the Pokken Singapore scene, creating that community together and trying to foster a space in Oceania for people in the region to come together and play.
Absolutely, and I've actually watched both of these players very closely. I see some of their tech on Twitter. And Enigma, I would like to talk about Enigma for her unique way of playing Gardevoir in field phase. So a lot of the times you'll see a Gardevoir go for a phase shift especially, but Enigma, the way she plays is she likes to do resets and keep the opponent in field phase. And I've seen this so often on Twitter all over the place, and every time I see one of these clips, I just go, wow, this is so fun to watch. And the way that you utilize Gardevoir's field phase pressure is so phenomenal. So that's going to be really fun to witness firsthand during this matchup against Charizard.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. Like, Enigma totally happy in a lot of matchups to, like you were saying, just reset and play the field phase. And Enigma told us that we asked both these players why they were drawn to their mains. And Enigma said, I don't know why I was drawn to Gardevoir initially, and at first I didn't like her. She seemed really weak, and then I saw players like Raz and Ryu, like H2, using them, and it sort of gave her hope that she could learn how to play her properly. And I love that in doing that, has like redefined Gardevoir in her own way, and now has gone back and inspired those players. Because like you're saying, like watching on Twitter, like I see H2 geek out all the time. Like Enigma plays field phase so well and makes it work, and that's so cool. So I don't. It's almost like we're getting to this like little bit of a theme where like we're talking about like the players who have trained other players training other players, and it's just really fun to see. And it's fun to see these two community leaders who have fostered the Pokken Singapore scene come together and have an exhibition match. I feel like this is gonna be really scary for Enigma. If Brian gets in, the damage is just a lot to deal with, but she has all the tools to keep her out. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hop into it. I'm so excited to see these two play. Thing about Gardevoir is that her HP is some of the lowest in the game, so it'll be interesting to see Enigma's defense too, as opposed to her offense against such a high damage character like Charizard.
Yeah, so Charizard actually does have access to some strong projectiles in field phase. It's one of the things that sort of makes him unique among grapplers in the game. I guess Libre has strong projectiles in field phase too, but it sort of stands out for him compared to someone like Machamp. So we'll see who can run the field phase here. See Enigma charging the charge move that deletes projectiles. I'm spacing on the name on it right now. That one right there. Nice punting, that bait, and then oh my gosh.
Yeah, what an incredible cancel too. Enigma playing patiently. I don't know. Yeah, so Brian has already got her in the corner here. Does get a knockdown though. Future Sight is so strong.
Yep, okay, now Brian calling the Eevee. The move I was thinking of too was Moonblast. So Chef in the background coming in too, giving me the read, just reminding me so strong. And now Enigma, with all the pressure here, finds the pressure. Okay, Brian working his way in, trying to find any way that he can. Finds a Fire Punch. This is gonna be big damage. This is what we were talking about. Oh, but the phase shift points take him out of the phase a little bit before he'd like.
I feel like Snivy is a really good support against Charizard. We've seen a couple of people use Snivy against a Charizard already. Does go into Burst, not interested in taking all this field phase pressure. Enigma going into a burst of her own. That's not going to be a confirm.
Yeah. On the pressure, goes for the sideswipe. We see her charging that Moonblast. This time commits to it. Brian's shield looking very weak, but Exhaust will have healed it. Look at these sideways. This is the field phase we were talking about with Enigma. Now into the burst.
Is this going to be confirmed?
No, but in a great position.
Wow. Brian going for an unsafe forward Y, yet so little time on the clock. He had to make something happen. Just pressed the wrong button, though, unfortunately.
Yep. Exactly, but now Brian off the racer, pushing the right buttons here, finds a nice punish. Now into the CA, catching Enigma. This is the corner Brian's been fighting for all round support. Now into Burst, wants to press that advantage.
Fire move, enhanced fire move and Burst. Keeping Enigma in the corner too. With all of this pressure, this is gonna do some good chip.
Okay, catches with the CA. Oh, Enigma, nice!
Wow.
Goes for the AY.
Is this gonna break Snivy though? Nope. Catches those CA frames. What an incredible teleport too.
Look at this shield damage.
That shield's not gonna last much longer.
Oh, nice spacing from Brian, not overcommitting. Catches with a fire punch.
Tries to backdash.
I really like Enigma's use of the 8Y, the anti-air. Gardevoir's anti-air has some of the most invulnerability on it in the game, so a really cool use of it coming out there. Among anti-airs, excuse me.
And there's that powerful projectile potential that you were talking about with Charizard as well.
Oh, the wall spot.
Wow, yeah. And it looks like Charizard is dealing so much shield damage too. So even if Enigma is sitting patiently in shield, taking a lot of chip, a lot of shield damage, decides to go into Burst. She's got Snivy, so if she really needs Charizard to get off of her, she can use Snivy.
Yeah, that would have been, oh, she goes into Burst. This is gonna connect, this is gonna be big damage. She was about halfway through her meter. Enigma definitely feeling happy to connect with the burst here. Guard's burst, one of the harder bursts to connect with in some ways. It's really big, but Brian just overcommitting, getting caught by it. Now into burst of his own though, has to come back. Oh!
Is that gonna confirm? That confirms. Incredible. This might be it because Brian's got attack buff here.
Oh, so
she's
close.
hanging on 18 HP.
Okay, charging that Moonblast. That's at least gonna do some chip. Fire move for some damage, and Brian goes to the sidewise, catches Enigma, taking game number 1.
Yeah. So interesting to watch these characters clash with their projectiles. Charizard, is it JY or JA?
In field phase, I think it's JA.
Yeah, I was thinking JA as well, but that seems like such a good option to cover Gardevoir's,
Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the big projectile or the one where he goes down?
the projectile that he like spits out of his mouth and explodes on the ground.
JY.
Is that JY? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is so good for catching Gardevoir's ground pressure.
Yeah. And that's the projectile that really liked it. That one right there, JY, controls the field phase so nicely. So Enigma like has to be at this range. She has to be out of the JY range in a lot of ways. And I think that's why we see Brian walking in, playing the aggressor, connects with a fire punch. Oh, the spacing goes max range on the instant JY in Enigma, has taken the corner. Great spacing.
Yeah.
Enigma uses the stored power, pushing Brian away.
When Enigma's got advantage, she is so aggressive. You can tell she's confident in what she's doing too. Gets a fire punch though. This is going to be some gross damage.
Yeah. Oh, nice splat there from Brian, finishing the combo.
Really good reaction on the CA there. Going for some future sight pressure. I'm wondering if Enigma's going to try and go for a shield bite. Does not have time because Brian goes into burst.
Ooh.
What an amazing reaction! Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Just standing there and waiting for Enigma to press a button and gets that burst off.
Yeah, really, really impressive stuff. Enigma in a bad spot there. You know, one of the strongest things about Charizard and the fact that he has that fast meter is he's really good at setting up this sort of burst checkmate situations that we saw a lot in the Players' Cup, and Brian just applying really good pressure. One of Gardevoir's weaknesses, not a lot of strong reversals. Her counterattack's a little slow. Brian finding a nice opening there, so Enigma has to find a way to get out of this position.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw in that last field phase too. Brian charging the last hit of his homing attack to do just a tiny bit more damage. Every little piece of damage in this matchup counts. So cool to see that utilized.
Yep. Oh, nice, perfect block. Enigma applying some nice pressure, gets the knockdown. We'll see if she's like basically just playing the field phase, wants to look. What she's basically baiting for a burst here, commits to a grab finally.
Gardevoir is saying, you don't get to have your turn because I'm just going to keep throwing these projectiles at you.
Oh!
That's going to hit. Decides to go for a seismic toss. Gets bursted. I don't know if that's going to be enough to KO because Brian is in burst himself. It was a crit though. Hangs on with 5 HP. Wants to go for his own chip damage.
Just gets the chip. Fire punch cancel. It's calling the Snivy. Brian backs off. Enigma with lots of pressure here. Uses her Calm Minds for the stored power. Oh, and catches with the dispersal.
Tries to go for a side dash. Gets caught by the dispersal, like you were saying. Charizard in Rage is so scary though. So even though you're only a few hits away from knocking it out, if you get hit yourself, there's half your HP gone.
Yep. Enigma using these sidewise really nicely. They create pressure and they also allow her to space in field face. Confirms the Moonblast shifting. Oh, sets up a really nice future sight combo here.
Wow. What a clean confirm. That was just a really nice combo to watch.
Again, these sidewise, we'll see. Oh, the Moonblast fake out. Goes in, connects on Brian, not able to shift though.
And here we see a lot of Enigma's classic field phase pressure. She does dash away, trying to space it out a little bit more. Brian's just walking forward ominously, does get into Dragon Claw, goes right into burst, and he is in Rage too, so his damage.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt. He's in Rage, like you were saying. And like you said, he's walking forward in field phase when he's in burst so well, just menacingly, creating that passive pressure. Enigma bursting. Brian with I think he missed the perfect block there, but not overcommitting, and now in a really tough spot. Enigma playing this field phase so well.
Yeah, and it looks like it's so hard for Charizard to try and get him with Fire Punch too with all this pressure because all of the projectiles beat out the CA armor. Tries to go for a grab, doesn't get it in time. Enigma's just vibing. She's like, I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. Is this gonna be... He didn't press a button. His shield is so red. He's got to make something happen here. 15 seconds on the clock.
Okay, these sidewise, not a lot of threat of shield break.
Being so patient. Being so patient.
Yeah, Brian, amazing patience here. Has to commit to something. Just 3 seconds left. Enigma, oh, into the Snivy. That was so smart.
Snivy. Wins with a time up.
Yep, tying it up
goodness.
1-1. That was really amazing patience from Enigma, and I like it because she applied so much pressure when she was in burst at the end of round 2, and then finally went to the throw. So like Brian's nervous about the throw, she knows it, takes complete advantage of it, puts herself in almost a checkmate-like situation, calls the Snivy at a spacing where she can just close it out. That was so good.
Yeah, absolutely. And because she was looking for a button press, because she was just so much pressure, and Brian was waiting for that grab, was able to just get off that Snivy. What a cool final match in that last game.
Okay, so now Enigma, starting off, she's the one who gets to set how neutral is going to go until Brian can close and get in that JY range, like you mentioned earlier. So now Enigma, the walks up, catches with a Moonblast. Enigma is using Moonblast so well in this matchup.
Their spacing is so good.
Oh, quick release CA, catching the dive kick.
Enigma is inciting so much shield pressure too against a character with a strong shield. And you've seen Brian's shield red a couple times. Goes for a nice wall combo, gets the seismic toss. This is going to be a rough spot for Enigma right in... Oh my gosh, another seismic toss. You don't get to choose. Brian coming in.
Ugh.
He's going to go for a third grab. So much green on the screen burn side. Just inciting so much fear in Enigma, not entirely sure what's going to happen. Goes for the safest option, which is shield, and gets grabbed 3 times in a row.
Yeah, the vortex of Charizard are just so scary coming out in Brian's way. Sometimes you just guess wrong 3 times in a row against Charizard and you lose. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah.
I like that. You got Charizarded.
Yeah. Enigma looking good here. You see her charging that Moonblast again. She wants to keep it ready. It absorbs projectiles. It deals lots of pressure. Brian ready for that one, though. Has the Fire Punch in the corner. Oh, Enigma just reacts with the AY. That was so good.
And all of Charizard's wall combos are so damaging, and it's so bad for Gardevoir, who's got a little bit of a lower HP pool. Goes into burst. Not going to get that seismic toss again, she says. I'm not interested. I'll order a McToss later, but for now I'm gonna incite all of this pressure. So many projectiles. That's not, I don't think that's gonna confirm.
No.
It has time to block. And as I was saying before, Charizard with a strong shield is back in red shield with burst recovering that, thankfully.
Brian's spacing so well around that anti-air. Did Enigma press something? No, she blocked.
Amazing. He's gonna fire it. Wow.
Oh, gets the shield break.
The shield though. Oh, it doesn't get a wall splat though. He's gonna go for toss.
No.
That's not a crit. Oh my god! Foot move coming in clutch.
Yep.
Gardevoir just got stomped on, taking another game here.
Yeah, Brian going up 2-1. Just the shield break, the pressure in the corner coming into play. You don't see a ton of shield breaks in Pokken, and just great awareness from Brian that he could go to that low strong, break Enigma's shield, and keep the pressure up. It's amazing because Enigma can, this is the fate of Charizard, the tale of Charizard. You play the matchup perfectly for 75, 80, 90%. Charizard gets in, guesses right, and it's just curtains. So Enigma, I'm sure she's going to be resilient to this. She's played this matchup a lot, but we'll see how she adapts to Brian's pressure, looking for a way to react to some of these grabs, not react, but just get the mind games back on her side.
Yeah, and Brian's doing such a good job of being patient and walking towards Gardevoir, trying to find an opening.
Okay, so Enigma, that's the spacing she wants. If she can be outside of the JY spacing with Charizard, she's in a good spot in field phase. Converts it to a dual phase, and now setting up at full screen again. Able to run all of neutral at this range. This is where Gardevoir wants to be. Setting up future sights just like that, keeping the pressure up with low lights, getting the energy balls out.
Yeah, Brian's trying so hard to get in with these CADCs too, but it's so dangerous to do that against Gardevoir's pressure because so many of her projectiles are crazy active and can beat out a CADC. Winds up getting in though. Just dominating in the corner here. Charizard is so scary in close range like that. Goes for a fire move.
Nice pushback with the Moonblast, keeping some space. Brian's shield is now weak. Gets the knockdown. Okay, Enigma in a good spot here. Oh, misspacing a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Oh, phase shift points save lives.
10 seconds left on the clock. Anyone's game here. Enigma picks up some synergy crystals and straight into burst.
It's anybody's game right now. Burnson goes for a grab, knowing that last time, Brian was sitting there and taking all of that projectile pressure, and Enigma says, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I'm going to close the round.
That was so good. And we saw the homing cancels too just come out. She did 2 quick homing cancels and then straight into grabs. Just like the confidence. Oh, Brian finding a connection here. The damage from Charizard, like you were mentioning, keeps the pressure up in the corner. Nice jump cancel from Brian to avoid the CA. Brian, another good jump cancel, just trying to sit outside this range a little bit. Force Enigma to push something where he can punish with Zard's really large buttons.
Absolutely. Is he going to be able to? Nope, wasn't able to get out of range of Snivy in time. Now he's back in Gardevoir's more favorable range. Doesn't want to deal with all this pressure, so goes into burst. Breaks shield.
Here's your mixed throw.
That's a very nice mix throw right there. I can't wait to enjoy a nice McCoke afterwards. What a nice KO.
Brian tying it up to 1-1, going up on a set point. Enigma has to make something happen here to stay in this.
Trying to keep a Brian in projectile range. Brian really wants to be in Gardevoir's space here.
Okay, there, finds the connection on the J6Y. That move's so important in any matchup where the opposing character has strong projectiles, just like Gardevoir. Oh, catches with the sword power.
Wow, Brian knows exactly the height properties of some of these projectiles. Is ducking and jumping, trying to eradicate some of this. Goes for a fire punch, and this is going to be big damage. He's got an attack buff. Right back into field phase here. Gardevoir is completely out of meter, and Charizard has got just about 3/4 of his own. So this is going to be interesting to see if he gets his meter in time. They're both in rage, both at low HP. They're around the same health pool right now. Can Brian get in, or is he gonna? Oh, 3 HP.
Oh, the Moonblast cancels! Enigma's using these Moonblast cancels so brilliantly. She's playing these like wild mind games. We don't see a lot of guards, period, but I don't know that I've seen a lot of guards ever use Moonblast cancels this effectively to play these sort of mid-range bait mind games where she's like, she's threatening Moonblast, canceling, and then going to a mix-up, and it's just working perfectly as a conditioning tool in neutral.
Yeah, absolutely. Enigma is such a fun Gardevoir player to watch because she has innovated this character in a way that I've never seen before.
Yeah, that really puts it best. Like this Gardevoir, you could not have the names on the screen and we'd know this is Enigma, and that's something I love about Pokken so much. The ability of your identity to shine through the way you approach the character. Both these players tied up 2-2. What a hype match we have to end this exhibition stream.
Right, Enigma trying to... Oh, and there's that JIY I was talking about. So threatening when you're in range there. Eradicates so many projectiles. It gets caught by the Snivy though, and now Enigma's gonna do some pressure.
Yeah, using the Snivy really well is a way to just set up future sight, set up Calm Minds. But Brian finds an opening here, drops his combo, but still in a favorable position as Zard. You don't mind dropping in the corner like that. Demon Slayer misses a punish.
Oh, that shield is looking not too good right now. They're both in rage now. I wonder if Brian's gonna go for burst, or if he's gonna hang on to it for next round. He go for Eevee, gets some of that recoverable HP back. Goes for fire move, tries to eradicate some of these projectiles.
These sidewise so effective. If she connects or not, just the pushback so important.
Absolutely. And it definitely gets rid of Charizard's options to get in, which is where he wants to be. Gardevoir does not want Charizard in. Successful fire move right there. Oh! Both players have burst, none of them using it. 6 seconds on the clock. Enigma goes for burst. Brian goes for burst. Oh my gosh. Is this gonna connect?
No.
Nope, okay. He's shielding in time. But he's gotta make something happen.
Oh, but Brian comes out on top.
With the tiniest health lead. Oh my gosh.
Really close, and he must have known. He must have been counting percents and just known that he was ahead. Really great awareness there from Brian. So Brian going up on set point now against Enigma. Enigma charging that Moonblast, gets caught. Brian shifting with the field phase in a very strong position here. Leads on meter, leads on HP in this duel phase.
Oh, Brian's so good at avoiding these projectiles and knowing when to jump, knowing when to duck. Tries to go for a grab. Wants to get in on Enigma so bad.
Okay, calls the Snivy, catches Brian. Not able to convert, catches with the 2x into the future sight though.
Brian is in such a bad spot right now. He doesn't quite have burst. He wants in though. He's gonna get in.
Okay. Oh, pushes out with the 8x. There, he got him like you said.
Is this gonna be it? I think this might be it, Burnside.
Oh, and it is! Brian takes it 3-2 over Enigma. What an incredible set from the two founding members of Pokken Singapore.
Yeah, and it was so fun to watch them clash like that because throughout those sets, it didn't look like anybody had one clear advantage. They could always get in on each other, always read each other. It was so dynamic. It was really dynamic to watch them clash like that. What a hype last set.
Totally. I wish we lived in an alternate world where Gardevoir play was just common, where there was a Gardevoir in every region, because Enigma making Gardevoir look so exciting. And that's like a classic Pokken zoner grappler matchup that exists in a parallel universe that we get to see all the time that I would love, because it's so cool. Like the way Enigma played the field phase with the Moonblast cancels, that's definitely a characteristic of Enigma that's all her own, but also the sidewise. I mentioned it while we were talking about, but the awareness that whether or not they're connecting, they're just pushing Brian back. And Charizard, it seems like he doesn't have any good ways to deal with them. And then Brian, to his credit, so patient. You know, he was in a lot of bad spots where he's just at full screen. It's frustrating to play against Guard, and he just walked in slowly and made it happen in the end. He so many times came down to like 10-second situations, and he stayed cool under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And normally when you see a Charizard player fight, they're quite aggressive, but I was noticing Brian was really passive and really reactionary, and that is so advantageous against Gardevoir when you know exactly when you're going to get in, when you're going to eradicate those projectiles and get a confirm. And wow, what an incredible match. I'm still reeling over it.
Yeah, totally. And the juxtaposition too, I love that we got to see Vanny start and then Brian start. So different, but both so good in different ways. Like Brian a little bit more grounded. He'll go to the air when he wants to go to the instant J6Ys to delete projectiles, but there's only so many that you can deal with in the matchup. Just so good. And there's gonna be so much more good Pokken coming up in Victory Road 4 later this month in September. Well, excuse me, not later this month, next month in September. When it happens. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm running down the road, flying. So the schedule's there for you to take a look out. The tournament's gonna happen on Saturday, October 19th. So players, whoever enters from around the world, all of the tournament bracket is going to happen on that day. We're all going to get together at the exact same time, regardless of time zone, and play out the entire bracket like we got to be in the same place. And then on Saturday, October 3rd and Sunday, October 4th, we as fans are going to get to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun seeing all of these players from all over the world duke it out, trying to grab that sweet, sweet cash money. And I don't know about you, Burnside, but I'm so excited for the 4th installment of this tournament series. I've been here since the very beginning of Victory Road, and seeing it progress to this point where we may not be able to get together and see each other in person, but we can do this sort of thing online and keep the spirit of Pokken going. It's awesome. I'm so happy there's a 4th one, and I'm really excited to participate too. I'm
really excited. You're excited. I'm excited you're participating, and I'm excited that you came and commented this with me. This was super, super fun. And I hope it was fun for you and sort of the celebration of the Pokken scene. That's why we had all these matches from all over the world, right? Like Victory Road is a chance to showcase and to participate all together, regardless of region, and to sort of have different regions from around the world compete. So if you're interested in joining, check out smash.gg/Victory Road 4. It's coming up. It's going to be good. Join the road to victory. Absolutely. You want to be victorious? You want to be the best? You want some money? Or do you just want to be there for fun? Victory Road. Enter, register, tell your friends. It's going to be awesome. Yep. So I think with that, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's amazing matches. Let the players know what you enjoyed most about what they did. Let us know what you enjoyed about the stream, what you think we could do better. We're always looking for feedback as commentators. And feel free to send me, Burnside, any questions about the tournament, about Victory Road 4 on Twitter. You can find me, my hashtags here, or not my hashtag, my @BurnsideBH. Taito's there as well, so check us both out on Twitter. I think with that, my enthusiasm for Victory Road 4 is at an all-time high, and I hope that it is for y'all too. I hope you'll enter, and do you have any closing thoughts, Taito? Do it. Enter. Don't let me see you slacking. Enter Victory Road. Do it.
That's my closing thought.
Amazing. You heard it from Taito. You heard it from me. Hop on Victory Road, register. It's going to be an amazingly fun tournament. And even if you don't register, consider joining the stream. Come back for more. Thank you so much for joining this exhibition stream tonight. And thank you to all of our players and to Wonder Chef for streaming this. You're the best. And I hope you all have an amazing night.
Have an awesome night, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.